Welcome back to another Flipping Tables. My name is Sean.
And I'm Tico.
And today we have a fabulous game. It's out on Kickstarter right now. It is called CastleScape, and it's created by Josh Horsley. It's for 1 to 4 players from Praetorian Games. And we had so much fun playing this. This is a prototype. Everything you see here, there's coming soon images and such, but the gameplay is solid. And this is absolutely, I'm going to say right off the bat, you need to check this game out on Kickstarter right now. The link is in the description below. This is a deck builder board game. It is a deck builder, but you actually have a board and a very strategic challenge on that board. Let's take a look at the components. This is the board already played out. This is the end of one of the games that we played, in which Tico won, as he usually does.
By a lot. There's a reason deck building is my favorite mechanic. I mean, I'm very good at it.
You're very good at lots of games. I'm going to just say it right off the bat. Anyway, so this is a deck builder. So as typical, you're going to start with a standard deck of cards. Okay, and you're going to draw 5 cards, and you're going to use those 5 cards and buy cards from the market or from the standard market. So this is the rotating market that comes when you buy something from here, you get another one that comes out. This is the standard market where it's just a pile of the same card, and you can purchase from either one. But the object here is building ramparts of a castle and claiming the what's the word?
Bailey.
The Bailey. Thank you. Claiming the Bailey inside walls. Once you claim a Bailey, as you can see, where the red markers, for example, the round markers with red and blue, are where we claimed Baileys, and that gives you points toward the end of the game. You gain points immediately, and there's a track all the way around the board.
For your renown.
For your so many terms, but
you got to get used to the terms.
Yeah.
But you claim, and the larger the Bailey that you create by placing your walls is the point. So like if you this one here it's worth 9 points because it's 9 squares inside.
Yeah. So Tico claimed that one and gained immediately 9 points.
I gained a lot more than 9 on that turn.
Right, because there are also goals out on the board that anyone can claim. Place 7 walls in a single turn, you immediately gain 4 points. So there's several goals on the board. These are random.
And I doubled up with this guy on that one there with 6 or more scoring spaces in there, so I get.
And these goals are random, so you're going to place. It's the number of players plus 1 goes out, and anyone can claim those at any time during gameplay.
And multiple times.
And so you are playing a deck builder, but at the same time, the cards give you wall pieces. It gives you recruits that you then place on the board, trying to complete these Baileys and gain extra points. Wow, like. We had so much fun playing this game.
Yeah,
it was absolutely incredibly fun. For someone who loves deck builders like we do, adding this strategic board game to a deck builder was just ingenious.
Yeah, there's spots where okay, I'm going to place this, and you have to pay attention to where you're placing them. So you're placing your recruits on the board, and basically the number, so you can finish off the wall and claim it, but you can only claim it if you have the most influence in that area, and that's with the little square guys in there.
That's right.
Inside is worth 1 influence, and on the
wall it's worth 2.
As on the wall is worth 2, and you can't place somebody on the wall. You have to place them in an area where a wall is going to be built.
For example, if I were to place a guy right there, and then we decide to build a wall, I can build a wall there, and he's only worth 1 point if there were walls around him. But if I build a wall on that location, he immediately goes up to the top. He is now worth 2 points if there's a Bailey on either side of him. He's worth 2 points for that Bailey. Right? If we continued this really quickly, and I finish this wall up like this, it's a small one. I'm going to claim this because I have 2 influence in that Bailey. So then I would claim it, and I would gain 1 point. There's only one.
There's only one
in there. But
in a contested area, and I don't think we have a couple in here. In a contested area, it's the total number of influence. So you're making sure that you're dropping your guys in paths where your opponent's going to want to put a wall. So if they have to put a wall there, they're giving you 2 points of influence towards that Bailey.
That's right. There's so much strategy on the board for a deck builder. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
I was having such an amazing time playing this game that I just want to clear the board and start again. It's that much fun.
It really is fun. One of the other things that I really love is the back alley, the infamy and corruption.
Let's talk about this for a second. So here's the player board. Player boards have corruption token and an infamy token, okay, and a back alley. So let's talk about the cards for a second. Some of the cards you may gain have, let's look if there's one here. Yeah, so if I bought this card, it has an infamy point. If I play this card and use the action, I must gain 1 infamy.
No, actually, it actually goes into your back alley.
Sorry, it goes in after. And so in a deck builder, once you've placed you played your cards, they go into your discard pile. If there is either infamy or corruption, there's another card that has a corruption symbol on it. You put it in your back alley. It doesn't count quite yet until you have to shuffle your deck. There's a card with corruption. If I had one of each of these in my back alley, when I need to reshuffle my discard pile, I now have to claim that corruption and that infamy by moving my markers on the board. That will then be a negative to you later in the game. As you gain points, you're going to actually lose recruits on the board, that sort of thing, lose some points at the end of the game. Once I've claimed it on the board here, these can go in my discard pile and you play again. So you do want to look at what you're doing. If you decide I don't want to use the action on this card, then you don't have to claim the infamy.
That's what I love, is that risk-reward decision that has to be made. And some of them are like that, where it's a pretty decent reward. But then there's others. In your starting hand, you have the clumsy thief right here. It's 1 gold, but
he gives you infamy.
He gives you infamy. So that's one of those ones that you want to, if you can cull your deck at all, that's one you want to get rid of, because it's 1 gold for 1 infamy. It's not a great trade-off.
Yeah. What I love about this game, I think I've already said it, is just in most deck builders, you're building a deck and you're trying to gain the most points at the end of the game. That's it. Yes, you're trying to gain points. Some of these have points at the end of the game that you're going to add up, but you're also gaining points as you strategically build up these ramparts on the board.
Yeah.
So you're thinking more about the situation on the board and the strategy of where do I want to put a recruit, where am I going to build a wall so that I can claim that Bailey inside. I think I've said it so many times already. I loved playing this game. The strategy part of the board game really adds an amazing quality to just what would normally just be a simple deck builder.
Sometimes the deck builder get lucky that a card happens to pop onto the row on your turn and you happen to draw the thing. You also have to be smart about it. It's like, I've got 7 gold to spend.
Yes.
But if it's going to gain me stuff in my back alley, if I spend all 7 gold, so maybe I only spend 5 of it instead of the 7.
Exactly.
Or do I spend all 7 and use that? Then once you've used it, then you also have to make the smart choice of where does the stuff go on the board?
Where on the board
so
does
you
it go?
you could spend the money and get the right cards, but then you still have to strategize as to where you're going to make your moves on the board.
If you love deck builders, if you love area control, this is an amazing combination of the 2 game styles, the 2 game mechanics, and I loved it. I'm not a huge fan of an area control game, but I had so much fun playing this. It is a brilliant combination of a deck builder area control, and I loved it. And I absolutely encourage you to go check out CastleScape on Kickstarter right now. Click the link in the description below, and check this out by Josh Horsley. It's on Kickstarter now. And as a reminder, if you want to have your game collection featured here behind us, check out the instructions down below and send us a picture of your game collection, and you may see it on a future episode of Flipping Tables. That is it for this episode. Check out CastleScape on Kickstarter. Thanks for joining us. Why do you win all the time?
I'm really good at stuff.
I
honestly thought you
see things that I don't see all the time.
I honestly thought you were going to kick my butt. The way the game started, I'm like, he's got so many walls coming out. I don't have the ability to, and you're getting so many Baileys dropped early.
You were confident, I was not.